Whoever preloaded this winched these shingles down way too tightly. Look at that. It's definitely not supposed to be like that. No edge protectors underneath it or anything. So what I did, I want to go ahead, take pictures of that, call the safety guy, let them know what the condition of the freight is that you're picking up. Make sure they have pictures. That way, if there's a load claim on this, that doesn't get pinned on you. What's up, guys? You're Night Trucker, back with another video, and this is actually the continuation of my 3 weeks out on the road. This is actually the Monday of the second week. So if you tuned into the last video, you saw that I wasn't able to actually get this load of drywall delivered on Friday, which wasn't late. This load is actually not due until today, but I wanted to see if I could knock it off early, but we were just too far away. So we parked at a pilot that was about an hour away. We hung out there for the weekend. We got there early on Friday, and it's a good thing that we did, because that place was very tight and did not have a whole lot of parking spaces. We actually ended up getting the second to last spot, but we are here at the Consigny. This morning was a little bit eventful. You know, I actually ended up changing my fuel filter over the weekend. Oddly enough, after I changed my fuel filter, everything was fine. Turned the truck on, had it running, no problem over the weekend. I got up to do my pre-trip this morning, turned the truck on, and the D-rate message popped up. And I'm like, oh no. And I've had that issue in the past with the D-rate message popping up, and with me talking to road repair in past scenarios. You know, the first thing you want to check is to look and see how clean or dirty your fuel filter is. And like I said, I had just changed my fuel filter on Saturday, and I had the truck running some on Saturday after I changed the fuel filter, and I had it running a bit on Sunday, you know, just to make sure that the battery maintained charge, and you know, to use some amenities in the truck like the microwave. You know, if you try to run your microwave without the truck being on, it'll blow a circuit and you'll have to go turn your inverter back on and all this other stuff. So everything was working, no D-rate message at all. But D-rate message, of course, this morning when I'm about to leave. And that is the reason why, guys, I've said in another video, I believe, that I don't do my clock, or I don't start my clock until after I've already done the pre-trip, looked at everything and tested everything out. Because if you start your clock first and then do your pre-trip, then if you run into something that's wrong, like I did this morning, you don't know how much time it might take to fix it. Or if you have to, you know, wait around to get routed to a repair shop, or have a technician come out to you. And in my experience, you know, the average time, you know, for a technician to get to me from the time that I call it in, got cut off there. But the time from me calling to the time that they actually arrive is, you know, usually sometime around 2 hours, you know, before they actually get to me. So I'd rather not waste that time on my clock. So luckily I stuck to my plan with what I do, and checked everything in the truck first. And that D-rate message popped up, and I was able to take off that fuel filter that I had just put on, and I emptied out the fuel, you know, from the I can't remember what the lever is. I'm probably saying it wrong, but the petcock or something like that. I can't remember. I got to look it up again. But the lever where you can empty out the filter, the fuel when you're changing it. And I looked through mine, and like, I know the filter's not bad. I literally just took it out of the package. I noticed that there was some silt or residue or whatever impurities that the filter was supposed to block out. Some of that was in the reservoir where the fuel is, and I'm wondering if like that could have blocked something up and set out the sensor. So I'm trying to, like, I have the fuel filter emptied out, all the liquid out of there. I'm trying to like maybe like wipe some of that out and like see if that'll fix the issue. I did do that, and thankfully that did do the trick. Somebody's got road rage out there. But yeah, I was able to do that and put the clean filter back on, and everything was fine. I was able to drive out here no problem. So maybe check that if you guys have that issue. Big guy running by here. I think that's the road rage guy. He was honking at somebody on his way in here. Either that or he was messing around with somebody that he knows. So that's where we are right now. It's a bit later in the day, or in the morning, that I would care to be getting started as far as like an unload, but that's just where it is. You know, like I said, I had that issue with the D rate that I had to fix myself, and thankfully I was able to remedy that without having to get road repaired or route me anywhere to, you know, have a shop look at that. With that, and then the hour drive, and then, you know, having to wait around here a little bit for my turn to get loaded, it's or unloaded rather. It's 9:52 right now, and I did not set a timer on my watch or my phone to see how long it took for them to unload the previous guy before the one that just went around the block. So I don't really have a general estimate of how long it's going to take for them to pull me around after that guy, but I don't believe that that previous guy took that long for them to unload. So I'm gauging that I'll probably get back on the road here around 11, because I've already been sitting for, you know, the 30 minutes that you have to list to get unloaded. So I'm in sleeper berth right now until I have to drive around and get this freight pulled off the trailer. You know, as you might know, in the beginning of the week, the loads are first come, first serve. So I'm not going to be first on the load board. Definitely, there's already guys out there that are moving that freight. So we'll see. I have a full clock as far as my drive time goes, outside of that 1 hour or so that I drove to get out here, minus the duty time as well, and the amount of time it's going to take for me to sit here. But we'll see what they put me on once I do get dispatched on something. We'll see what's in the area and what's available, because I'm not going to be going home until next Friday. So my options aren't really limited. Not until next week, when they need to route me in the radius of getting home. Hopefully we'll get ourselves out of here soon. And it looks like, actually, from what I'm seeing, there's a guy in there that is just about finished. They are unloading very quickly in there, so it's looking good, guys. We'll see. All right, guys, we just got unloaded. It's about 12:15 right now, so we waited a little bit longer than our split log time would take. But the second thing about that is that they called me on the phone to come around the block and get unloaded when I only had 20 minutes left to sit in sleeper berth before my split log would have been complete. So that was a bust. So that didn't mess me up super bad as far as like my drive time, but we don't have a whole bunch of duty time to play around with. We're sitting at 9 hours 34 minutes and of duty time, and then we have 9 hours 54 minutes of drive time available. But we already have a next dispatch. It's actually going to be a dedicated load coming out of the Home Depot around here, Norwood, Massachusetts, I believe. I've never been there, but I know what the deal is for that. So it's one of those quick pick up and drop loads, so it doesn't pay all that much. It pays very low because it's supposed to be for those guys to do multiple of them per day. But the load that I have here delivered, it paid a lot. So I mean, it's later on in the day, like I was telling you guys. If you wait later on in the day, especially past noon, the pickings for the next load are going to be slim. So we're going to do what we got to do, get it picked up, and it's a very short drive. It's only 18 minutes or 18 miles to go pick it up, and then 130 miles to go deliver it. So it'll get us in a position to have a fresh clock early in the morning tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get our paperwork so we can go get this load picked up and get it delivered, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, we're here around the block picking up this preload. I want to show you guys something. Whenever you're getting your preloads, you always want to make sure that you are thoroughly checking them yourself, the securement and the condition of the freight that you're picking up. Because here, take a look at these shingles that I'm getting here. You guys see a problem with that? Whoever preloaded this winched these shingles down way too tightly. Look at that. It's definitely not supposed to be like that. No edge protectors underneath it or anything. So what I did, I want to go ahead, take pictures of that, call the safety guy, let them know what the condition of the freight is that you're picking up. Make sure they have pictures. That way, if there's a load claim on this, that doesn't get pinned on you, that it goes back to where you picked it up from. And then you ask them if you need to keep on going with this freight, if you need to pick it up, or if you need to have the customer swap out the load, or if the consignee is going to be okay with it coming back in that condition. Make sure that you do that before you take off with it, because once you take that freight off the lot, it's your responsibility. You're co-signing that the condition of the freight that you're taking it in is okay. I'm not going to leave that up to anybody else to decide for me, so I'm getting rid of that right now. All right, guys, we're about to get out of here, but looks like I'm a Home Depot dedicated guy for the day because I already have another preload, or a pre-plan rather. So once we deliver this one to the Home Depot in Claremont, New Hampshire, we're gonna go to Connecticut, Windsor, Connecticut, to another Home Depot distribution center, pick up another load there for today. So the load that we have right now that's going to Windsor, Connecticut is supposed to be delivered today. We'll get that knocked out. Like I said, then we'll go to Windsor, Connecticut tonight as well to pick up another load that's going to Batavia, New York, but that doesn't have to be delivered until tomorrow. I took it ended up being like about 25 minutes away from me going for another split log here at this place. So I just sat and waited for the extra 25 minutes, and that just completed. So that gave me some time to help stretch out what I got to do tonight and make sure that I have enough time to not get stuck in the middle of nowhere. So we have 9 hours, 14 minutes of drive time, but we can't use all of that because we only have 8.5 hours of duty time. But that still should be more than enough. It'll be more than enough to get this load delivered here and then get us to the next pickup location in Windsor, Connecticut. Now after that, we'll have to figure out where we're going to stop for the night. We should be able to find somewhere, I think. Might not be able to drive as far as I want to necessarily, but we'll get it done. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's get on the road and roll. All right, guys, we made it out here to Claremont, New Hampshire. And as you can see, we're getting unloaded right now. And as I said earlier, we have a pre-plan to pick up at another Home Depot distribution center, which is actually in Connecticut, Windsor, Connecticut. I've been there before a few times, but it's been quite a while since I was there last. About 2.5 hours away, and looking at my clock, I have 4.5 hours available, but I don't have any spare duty time, so I have less duty time on my clock than I do driving hours. So we're gonna use up half of the time that we have just driving there, plus whatever time it takes to secure the load. After that, we won't have really much of any time left, maybe like an hour or so. I mean, that's if I'm able to get everything done really quickly. But even with that, with our arrival, we'll be getting there pretty late. What time is it now? It's 7:15. So if we were to be leaving right now, we wouldn't get there until around 9:30. And like I said, added in the time that's going to take to drop this trailer, swap over my equipment, check the new trailer, make sure all the securement is right, and that I don't need to add anything or adjust anything. You know, we could be there, you know, 10:30, longer than that, 10:45, maybe 11, I don't know. But you know, I might end up having to camp out there over the night. I mean, it says on the on my Trimble that there's no parking there, but I mean, if I'm gonna run out of hours, I mean, I'm not gonna drive. You know, I'm gonna have to call night dispatch or something and, you know, let them know that I'm gonna be out of time, because I'm thinking that's gonna be the case. I mean, even if it's like very close, if I only have an hour left on my clock, really, how far can I drive? You know, will there even be a truck stop or rest area or place for me to park, you know, within that amount of time, you know, distance? Will I be able to go that far anyway? So I've been in that position once before. It was a really long time ago, back when I was a rookie driver, you know, and I ran out of time while I was at a shipper, and oddly enough, it was a Home Depot distribution center that I was delivering to. And I ended up calling night dispatch, and, you know, they worked something out with whoever it was that was managing that distribution center, and I just did my 10-hour reset there. And I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna need to do, because that long delay that I had this morning at that first consignee in Massachusetts, that really pushed my timing back for the day. You know, I sat there for over 2 hours, you know, between waiting for my turn to get unloaded and then them unloading me actually before I was able to leave. You know, it was like after, you know, 12 o'clock. It was like 12:20, I think, when I left the consignee in Massachusetts. But looking at that, you know, the distribution loads, Home Depot distribution center loads, you know, they don't pay a whole lot by themselves. They're supposed to be, you know, you do 2, maybe 3 of those loads a day. So this will be my second one that I'm going to pick up, but I'm definitely gonna have to deliver that tomorrow because, like I said, I'm gonna be very, very short on hours by the time everything's said and done tonight, and I'm gonna be low on energy as well, I'm sure. So we will do what we need to do, get that load delivered tomorrow, and pick up something that hopefully gets us moving out west, because it looks like the place that I'm delivered to is Batavia, New York, and I think that's going to be about 5.5, maybe 6 hours from Windsor, Connecticut, where I'm picking up. So we will see what we do. We will see. It's the next morning, and we picked up that preloaded trailer, and as I predicted, I did run out of time while I was here securing the load, so I just stayed in the parking spot where the trailer was and did my 10-hour. I slept here because, you know, I couldn't leave even if I wanted to. But we got a fresh clock and a 6-hour drive ahead of us to go get this load delivered in New York. I'm pretty sure we'll have something else to pick up after that, because by the time we get there, it's going to be about 2:30. We'll see where they end up sending us after this, with it being later on in the afternoon once we actually arrive. But we'll go from there. All right, guys, we made it out here to New York. I believe Batavia, New York is where we are. And we're getting unloaded right now. They're just about done. I did have a heck of a hard time dealing with those tarps. Let me show you guys something. See that tree? See that grass? The wind is blowing very strongly right now. Now the breeze feels good, but let me tell you, when you're trying to roll up your tarps, anybody who's ever had to do it will let you know the struggle that the slightest gust of wind can give you when you're trying to fold up those tarps, man. It took me like twice as long. I mean, I had to use some of the loose wood that they had, not that stuff over there. They have some smaller smashed up pieces. I had to use some of that to weigh the tarp down to keep it from blowing off. Like every time I would try to close it, the wind would catch underneath it. I tried to use the truck as a windbreak, but like the wind was going underneath the truck and still blowing up under the tarp. I mean, it was the worst, the absolute worst. And it's not my first time having to deal with the wind, but man, it sucked. I mean, I would absolutely hate to have been tarping a load with the wind blowing like this, man. That can definitely be a safety hazard. If you're on top of your load and the wind is blowing anything like it is right now, you can easily get blown off the trailer. The wind can catch underneath that tarp and blow over top of you, and then blow you right off top of that trailer. Like, you know, if you're on top of 13.6 or whatever, you know, it can definitely get you injured severely. But we got that done, and it's later on in the evening right now. It is actually 5 o'clock, a little bit after. So definitely not getting another load picked up today, but I do have a pre-plan for tomorrow. But the fortunate thing about that is the pre-plan is only all set. All right, thanks, man. Have a good one. You too. All right, we just got unloaded. But yeah, the pre-plan, like I said, the pre-plan that I'm picking up is in Pennsylvania, but it's only 2.5 hours away from this place in Batavia, New York. So we have, let me see, I believe we have more than enough time, way more than enough time to make that drive. We have 4.5 hours available on our clock, and we are about 45 minutes away from a split log starting. Now, I don't have to do a split log, but what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna do something strategic, take advantage of my time. Since I can't pick the load up until tomorrow morning anyway, all I will be doing if I left immediately is getting myself parked up for tomorrow, which I'm still gonna do. But I'm at this Home Depot. There's a grocery store literally next door, and like I said, I've been on the road, or this is my second week. I've got supplies, but next week my supplies might start running a little low because I underpacked, I think, some of the food items that I wanted to have with me. So I'm gonna take advantage of this time. Like I said, I've got 45 minutes for my split log to start, and that'll freeze my clock anyway. So I'm gonna go park the truck here in the Home Depot lots, out of their way, and I'm gonna walk across the street over here and get myself some groceries, some supplies, so that I can comfortably coast the rest of my way until I get back home, and get some of that good old home cooking from Mrs. Erudite. So we'll do that, and we will be in great position to be the first ones to get loaded tomorrow, because I believe we're picking up some plywood that's going to Baltimore, Maryland. So I would venture to say that once I'm in Baltimore, excuse me, I'm going to be picking up some shingles. I'd say like 90% of the time when I'm in Baltimore, I'm picking up shingles. So we'll see if I'm right. But I would put money on it. I would bet my, actually, I would bet my next paycheck, yep, that I'm gonna I'm gonna have a shingle load after I deliver that plywood. So let's go ahead and get ourselves parked, get to the store, and make our way to Pennsylvania. All right, guys, we made it here to the next shipper, where we're gonna pick up this plywood going to Baltimore, and we're actually the second truck in line now. Somebody beat us here. You can see got a guy, I can't really see with our reflection, but there's a dude right up ahead of us here. Can't check in until the morning. They said you can check in at 6 a.m. So I'm gonna go ahead and make myself some dinner and get some shut-eye to be fresh for tomorrow morning. It's been eventful today, but that's just par for the course. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. We're gonna cut it here. Erudite Trucker out.